Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Borderlands 2. So, we wasted a lot of time at the end of the last episode so we can start the next bit of DLC fresh. So, off to Hunter's Grotto we go. Now, I didn't want to load into here and start at this point in case it triggered something. But I don't think it is going to trigger anything. I think we've already missed out on that opportunity. So, these could have been destroyed claptraps pretty easily, but I guess because of the claptrap robot revolution being, I guess, canonical, there is only one claptrap. This is weird. I could have sworn that I had already checked all the challenges and there weren't any vault symbols in any of the DLC. But I guess I misread the challenges. Hey. That's kind of cool. I don't think you get the opportunity to jump on top of these very often. We have some new kind of bandit boxes. And then we have some boxes that don't open. We're trying to find and talk to Siren Hammerlock, who theoretically should be in Moxie's bar, but since this is DLC. Also, there's a challenge for collecting and just having a ridiculous amount of money in your hands, in your account. So, going forward, I don't think I'm gonna spend any time. It seems like we're going to get out of the cave section. Yeah, I don't think we're going to spend any time spending money short of just buying bullets. This is a nice looking area, but it's frankly something we've all seen before, and boy am I running into just some glitchy, like, invisible walls. I think it's the water. I think the water has managed to push me out into the floor of the clipping. But yeah, this is basically stuff we've seen before. Borderlands 3 is really going to have to work at stuff like that. They're going to have to make everything new and fresh, and that sort of explains why it's taken them so long to make Borderlands 3, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure that that's the only issue. So I guess there's got to be a way back up here at some point, because if I'm going down here... Oh, yeah, there was a ladder. I missed that. And let's speed some stuff up and see what this is. We have a empty. That's new. It's weird to open something and it be empty. So you have a campsite, and this section that seems like it's going to let me go in circles. I'm probably going the wrong way. Like, I probably don't need to go this way yet, since I bet we get told to go this direction. Man, the movement speed just never feels fast enough. It never does. There's too much of this game centered around at least seeing the Hyperion spaceship. I guess you kind of had to stick with that mentality. I don't know what else you could have done, honestly. See, and this is supposed to be hunting animals, but I'm not seeing any animals. And that's a vehicle spawner that's disabled. But this area doesn't seem particularly too welcoming to driving around in a vehicle, and might be able to get away with that. Yeah, this is slightly bigger over in this area. I believe this is level 30 content that we're doing right now also, so we'll have a bit more challenge. Apparently at some point we're gonna have to pull these and set off. So there's like a giant spider character. I'm on full on bullets. So it's like almost as if Hammerlock has hunted all of the enemies already. Alright, so we've got some level 31 enemies that honestly take as many bullets as a level 20 enemy, which makes me think that this whole system is so oddly balanced that you really can't do anything. I assume this was pre-programmed. We'll be fighting more of these spider ants throughout the game. So I bet Hammerlock is locked in this totem, and this is, I guess, going for the idea of a Native American spin on Pandora, which I guess then that's cowboys and Indians. It's actually been quite a while since we've had a cowboys and Indians style game. Oh, that's just a loot box. This is just the toilet in a different style. That's cool. We really needed more things like this. More variety. It's hard, certainly, to go with that. I'm saying cowboys and Indians, but also I guess this could be like African savagery like 2, which that certainly also would have been an old thing. Both of which are not particularly politically correct to attempt to use as a subject, and I kind of am gonna have to applaud the game Borderlands for being willing to do that. Borderlands 1 would have done this kind of characters, but Borderlands 2 for the most part has been very, very political correct, more than you would guess, or more than I'd actually even want by quite a bit. And I've said it many times before, but that has been my fear with a Borderlands 3 made by Gearbox, because the employees at Gearbox in the meantime have gotten older and become a lot more politically correct compared to what the writing was in Borderlands 1. But even though I'm applauding this, I'm almost certain, in all honesty, that they're going to put some subverting your expectations twist on this, and somehow the savages are going to be the good guys, even though they're being labeled as savages. Let's see. Running into a lot of walls, but not particularly a lot of enemies. I'm hearing sounds, but they don't seem to really mean anything. This 2 is locked. I don't think I'm going the right way. It doesn't really feel like I am. Yeah, it's definitely... I don't know if there's been too many, like, African or African style savages style video games at all, because that form of cliche or propaganda, which, let's face it, was more propaganda than anything, died off and became socially unacceptable decades and decades before video games existed. The closest thing I could think of is in like Dead Island, there's zombies that infect native Africans and turn them into zombies, but then once you turn something into zombies, that doesn't really count at that point. And I'm pretty sure it's Far Cry 3 that has a character that's like that. So I just finished the slag quest. I'm getting experience again, so the good news is I will level up to level 35, but I don't think I'll do anything else. And see, I've got this new repeater that's not strong enough to do anything. And it blows apart into smaller things that then immediately fly at me and try and set me on fire. Of course, having a enemy that is kind of built around the idea of shooting it from a distance means you probably won't pick up the drops on it. But I like that there's a slow-moving flying creature. Like, that's something that really needed to be in the entirety of the game. We've just been dealing with racks, and we've barely even been dealing with them. So here's a bounty board. Maybe we'll get a decent amount of missions. Or maybe this will turn into something where potentially the... it doesn't seem like there's anybody in there. Like, maybe this DLC will constantly spawn random animals throughout the rest of the game. If that's the case, that would kind of suck that you'd have to come and trigger this DLC. Would have been a lot better for you to be able to, for just having installed the DLC to trigger something like that. So I imagine that's not what's going to happen. I imagine it's more likely the bulletin board might trigger some random animals you have to hunt in this map and only this map. And you certainly are in a weird position now, because any animals that get introduced, like here.
Nearby. Come find me and we'll fight our way to the lodge together. Then it'll be nothing but a carefree weekend of hunting, companionship, and bawdy jokes about social taboos.
Yeah, so apparently maybe I could have come this way too. And we'll just look around this campsite, which seems to have nothing in it. Yeah, any character added in this DLC kinda needs to be used in Borderlands 3. As somebody who didn't really play any of the DLC for Borderlands 2 because I just got bored of the game after beating it the first time I played it, I feel like I missed out now that there's actually new enemies. But we'll see how long this lasts, because the Halloween DLC certainly didn't last very long.
Ho, Vault Hunter! Welcome to Agris. The lodge is just up the path here. Stick close and we should arrive with no trouble.
So I'm gonna try to use this repeater more, just because I think that there's probably some quest built around it. Meanwhile, I've got not terrible weapons, but it seems like we're getting greens, and we're trying to just here balance everything as high as possible. So I'm trying to get everything up. So recoil reduction looks like that was the lowest number. Of course, these bonus stats really aren't doing anything. 6% here and there, and getting the extra XP is not really doing anything. Hey, what if I was to run faster because I have 2 functional legs and you don't? So the joke here is gonna be that, as far as we understand it, everybody that's on Pandora, or at least a lot of the bad guys, are either vault hunters who went crazy or prisoners. Now we've got a witch doctor. So these probably canonically are prisoners who are brought here to work basically as cheap slave labor. So I guess this might be our new base. Let's see what we've got. This. Yeah, I don't know how you could make a game like this and it not come off offensively. We already had the Resident Evil 5 issue of one African character, female character, and one like American white character, white guy, shooting a bunch of Gonado zombie infected Africans.
I know why you're here. You want what's in my ship. You want my power. Pardon. We came here to hunt.
Afraid we've never heard of you before.
What? Really? Professor Nakayama? Hyperion Scourge? I poisoned Atlas's CEO.
Oh, that's nice. Good for you.
People are terrified of me. How do you not know? You guys are
Who's he
assholes.
talking to?
We can use this lodge as a base of operations for our hunting expeditions. I'll let you do the honors. Depress that switch and let there be light.
What switch? The switch on the outside of the building, okay.
Within the bounds of this continent lie dozens of creatures for us to track down. If I can repair that catcher boat over there, we shall sail into the heart of relative dimness and begin our hunt. Tally-ho!
Before we leave, let's see if there's anything up here. Doesn't seem like there really is. So maybe we'll get some more bones hanging? Or more things on the walls? That would be in line with a hunting lodge. We have a fast travel station here.
Thanks for joining me on this expedition, by the by. One can get rather lonely on treks such as these, and with my right hand being made of metal, I'm incapable of amusing myself in the way most other males would. Some ribald humor for you there. Positively ribald.
Alright. Yeah, whoever wrote this feels like a different writer from the rest of the game. Honestly. Alright, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. We don't need that. Couldn't use that even if we did want to.
When you think murder, take Marcus munitions.
Let's fill up on our bullets.
Nothing like a good sale. Don't have too much fun.
So we could look here and see what this would offer as far as guns. But I don't think it would offer anything good. Yeah, I don't think any of these things could possibly be better than what I have ever.
I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough.
No new missions yet. So, what do they mean by catch a boat? It could be that they are talking about like land boats, which would be an oxymoron, but it wouldn't be the first time in Borderlands for you to have a sand boat or a land boat, some kind of item.
Ah, there's the catch-a-boat station where you can summon a dinghy. I shall have to repair it after I take a moment to laugh heartily at the amusing cadence of the word dinghy. Now that that's over with, please watch my back. Once I've repaired the station, you can summon a dinghy, travel deeper into the swamp, and start hunting some real game.
So wait for repairs to complete.
Old Hunter, I fear things are about to get hairy. They've got boats. Where in damnation did they get boats?
That's not gonna work. So these guys are shooting a lot. Giant spark spore. Let's see. Ooh, an iridium. We weren't picking up any of those in the previous DLC. There definitely is something to be said. Bloodthirsty Triggerman just seemed to upgrade like a brute does. I would not have assumed that that was the case on how that worked. And there's a shock wish doctor, which I guess are midgets. The fact that I can't even really identify what these are is a real good move. Yeah, they seem to... Maybe the witch doctor is the one doing these level up animation. Let's see. Let's keep on shooting with the sniper rifle. I'd like to level up, but that's not gonna be doable. But these guys are just wading through the swamp, so it doesn't feel like there's too much of an issue. Just yeah, it's throw a grenade. We haven't thrown those in a while.
Who's that horribly overdramatic so-and-so who those savages on us. I finished repairing the catcher boat. Grab a dinghy and get going.
What did I just pick up? It looked like a skin. It very possibly was a new skin, actually, because at level 35 now the game may have unlocked a new amount of things that I can pick up. It seems like you do get stuck where you're just, yeah, here you have a fan boat skin customization all of a sudden, and another fan boat skin customization, then a couple of pointless items. Oops, I forgot to upgrade while we were here. I want this to regenerate more of my health. Our next movement is for kill skill to increase damage, and yeah, movement speed. If we go back down the route that we were on before, because we at one point got all the way to this point, but then I respec'd. I guess that might be what we're looking for, but maybe not, because I could see if maybe there's something else better. Double shot chance. It's not really that useful. I probably would prefer to just increase speed with this kill skill. And increase critical hit damage. And then we could increase bullet speed here and damage. And just try to increase more and more damage if we continue to level up. But I don't think we'll get that as an option by the time we're done.
Empty.
I'm running out of bullets. This certainly feels a lot like the wireframe animation on that could have been improved slightly. That just flipping up in the air seemed a little rough. Two-legged drifter instead of a regular one. It's like a head that is upside down to turn into some kind of spider. Like creature. Alright, let's move on. We get some XP and some money.
Now, let's go hunting. I've heard tell of an unusual creature out in Silas Grove. Head out there, find it, and do what you do best. By which I mean blast it to tiny bits, of course.
See, and that's crazy because they just gave me a chapter 1. And he's got like another quest for me.
Do you feel you have too many bullets, but not enough money?
I'm gonna go ahead and take this
I
mission
tell
too.
of a Borak that dines only on human flesh. You'll have to be either extremely clever or extremely suicidal to lure it out. I've marked its lair on your echo device. Head there now.
So I'm seeing another quest that I can come over here and pick up. Like this feels straight up like more game, where that Halloween expansion definitely didn't say a chapter 1. Definitely didn't do anything but give us a couple of missions and a very tiny map. You could already feel that this map is a lot bigger, even if it doesn't really connect, and even if it just kind of ends over right about that direction. This is still a lot bigger than the Halloween one. It feels like they very possibly just rushed out the Halloween quest DLC. And I'm just going to take this and then exit.
I am Dietmar von Heinrich Zimmerschneit, and I search for truth. I am filming a documentary about hunting, about you. You will capture the Monstrositat, while I record mine director's commentary. I have set up cages. Find them.
Okay, so I'm going to take each mission, listen to the intro, and then we're going to see which one's closer.
Zimmerschneit speaks to you. The documentary I am filming about you needs a scene of a warrior collecting eggs. Eggs collecting is extremely popular with my target audience. Retrieve some for me, and I will narrate your descent into the Yoki epicenter of the human soul.
So that quest is just going to be throughout the entirety of the map. And if we can zoom out some more, no we can't. We are getting a good indication of how big this map area is. So there's quite a lot, I think, down here. Interesting. And we won't need to be on this mission, we'll just pick up eggs in the meantime.
Oh, wait, what am I doing? You don't speak English. Sorry. I'm one of the native bandits you've been shooting at around here. How you doing? Anyway, there are a few rare and irritating creatures I'd like you to kill for me. No way to know where or when they'll turn up, though. Just keep your fingers crossed and your eyes open.
So, I just killed a two-legged drifter. And again, that quest really doesn't have anything for us. So this one wants us to go where? Here. And this one, where's the story one? Story mission is in an entirely different section. So we don't really have to worry about that. So let's go this way. So we're looking for eggs, we're looking for rare creatures. It seems like it's pretty obvious that we're gonna stay in this area long enough to make enough sense that we get that done. So this doesn't feel like a 2-hour piece of DLC. Maybe Gearbox just pivoted. Maybe the reception was bad for the previous. Let's see, what do we have? We have a corrosive fan boat, a flamethrower fan boat, and a shock flame boat. I don't think you would need corrosive. And as far as skin types, we unlocked Midnight, and we might as well just look at everything. Like, these skins don't seem... I don't know what the deal is with people attacking me in the menus, but it seems like they're getting away with stuff like that, even though I'm playing offline. The good news is I'm not probably in any real danger of dying. So hitting these guys seems difficult, and I took the flame ones, and then I immediately had to fight a flame character. Good news is I have infinite bullets, so maybe I should have gone with corrosive. But I was thinking corrosive weapons really only... Yeah, let's get out of this. This is just a hover boat. We won't be using that.
The Vault Hunter collects the eggs for reasons known only to them. Boredom, justice, because I paid them to do so. We can but speculate.
So yeah, it'll just be a lot easier to walk around the map than it will be to try and use the boat section. We'll see if there's actually a water element at some point that makes it make less sense. And I want to be moderately thorough. Like, see if I can get up. on this side. This seems kind of rough. Yeah, I don't know if I just need to reload Borderlands or what, because this just seems awkward. I can run up the hill in some places. I can't run up the hill in other places. I can walk sometimes. I can't walk sometimes. I can jump up here, but that slides me too much. But there's clearly a building there. So is that building just supposed to be there to tease you? I don't know. Is there perhaps some long distance way in which you could get up if you run all the way around the edge? Maybe there's some mission we'll get that makes that make more sense. And even though I'm fighting moderately equal people. Okay, what was that? That was doing damage to me. I forgot to buy bullets. I'm getting hit by a witch doctor's staff, I believe. He's like sucking all the life out of me. A vampire witch doctor. And that got me an artifact, so that was a powerful guy. Again, though, man. I feel like I'm running into a lot of invisible walls. And it seems like these giant spores are just gonna always be within a certain distance. So you can always take them on and shoot them. Maybe we'll get some kind of gun that will burn the spores off and so they don't duplicate. Let's just take a moment to walk in the water. Yeah. There's a blue gun. There's no problem here with walking in the water. So the catch a boat feature seems to be redundant. But I can appreciate the redundancy there. That makes a little bit of sense. This is going to be a moderately larger section of gameplay. Where is this gonna go? Well, wherever this is gonna go, I can't travel to it yet. I'm not getting the prompt. So either the game is totally glitched out or that's blocked off for storyline reasons. Seems odd that you can that there's so much extra area, but that's not incredibly odd. That is basically how the game was set up in several of the other levels in the main story. Of course, some of my criticism of the main story is how a lot of the levels felt very underused. Is this just a go on forever water? I think that's what this is supposed to be, is just say you can go on forever to the water if it weren't for these things threatening to shoot you. It seems odd that we have a slightly metallic, just running on solid ground sound effect playing. Nah, wouldn't it be a little bit smarter to have recorded like a splashing sound? That's something a more modern game would have almost certainly had. And Borderlands 2 is not that old. They must have just cheaped out on it. Again, unless there is a splashing sound effect and this game is just decided not to play it. So it seems like this machine might be the thing that's shooting out the spores. We're discovering new areas, and theoretically that's unlocking more of the map. Definitely still feels very empty. Oh, so we can just watch the bullymong fight each other, fight the savages. Alright, the slag witch doctor's not gonna die if I shoot him with a slag gun. I might have a challenge to kill bullymong, but I think I just have a challenge to shoot things that are being thrown by bullymong out of the air. And I don't think that any of these bullymong here are going to actually decide to throw anything at me. These guys' shields are kind of useless. I think that's the intention. With an area this big, we may very well run into a scenario where we only end up walking around some parts of this map once, because a mission tells us directly to walk to that area. I really don't need to be looting these things. I don't even think there's any more challenge left to smash these things. And I guess that's the counter argument. At the very least, the Halloween DLC had you run around the level a couple of times. Man, I hate when there isn't a cave behind a waterfall, but I guess in Borderlands' case they've been kind of consistent about there not being caves behind waterfalls. So, what does this do? Well, it seems like this is going to take iridium. 21 iridium. Ooh, that seems like quite a lot. For something I have no idea what it it is. Oh wait, no. Is that? Yeah, that's iridium. I cannot justify spending 21 iridium on something that I don't even know what it would do. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Normally I would, had it been 3 iridium, I would have been okay. That's a worthwhile expense to figure out. But my other fear would be, at such a high price, it might summon a like level 50 Crawl Max style of enemy that I would just die on immediately. Guess I could have thrown a grenade. Maybe we'll get some nice drops of iridium style that will get me above 100. And see, I'd really like to see what updating my storage with 100 iridium does, if that makes it so that I can't upgrade it anymore, or if it just keeps on going forever. Seems like you can take the hit pretty easily on the sub-spores that spawn. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in Borderlands 2 on just how rare loot midgets seem to be. Like, they just don't seem to pop up anywhere like they did in the first game. Like, in fact, it may very well be the case that there's only like one point in the entire game that has one that summons, that pops up, and that is just a pre-programmed section. Let's go ahead and unlock this skin. Look at this class mod. Let's look at these shields while we're here. Look at these guns. Like, I seriously doubt I'm gonna pick up anything that's gonna beat what I already have. Yeah. But that was probably a waste of time too, because I'm not going to probably even run into a place where I can sell guns, and by the time I do, I will have needed to I'll need to sort through the system again. This looks like this might have been a lookout point where you can jump down, but it's not a point where you can jump up. Let's see. That's just a wasteland drifter. I guess since I'm trying to heal right now, I can get little bits of XP still from this stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here. What is this? Disable 5 animal traps. So, okay, we'll have to keep an eye out on the floor for some more animal traps. That's new. Wow, there's entire ideas here in this expansion. I kind of wonder if this might have been the last expansion. That we're playing things slightly out of order. I thought that the Dungeons and Dragons expansion was the last expansion, though. And it certainly feels like, in my mind, it should be the last one you do.
Nothing like a good sale. You're my millionth customer. Don't let it go to your head. Farewell, friend.
Alright, let's go this direction and work our way around this giant mountain. Collect more eggs. I kind of don't feel like they are going to be in terribly hard to find places, so I suspect I can just find all the eggs that are needed to be found, because I bet there's a bunch of them extra. Another waterfall with no cave behind it. We may have to switch quests because we're getting closer now to the other area. Let's just come over here. Yeah, that guy almost took me out. And see, I don't even know like where I am as far as health return. Like, I don't really think my attack skill really returns a lot of health to me, if any. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on all of these drifters to look for a two-legged one. Yeah, it seems like I just have a ability, a like mod on my abilities that has me specifically heal at all times. And so if I can buy some time using my deception ability, that's fine. That'll help me heal slowly, but I don't have anything else. Alright. Okay. So we're gonna take this elevator and it's gonna take us up. Before we take the elevator, let's look around. Get little bits of everything, see if there's a Cult of the Vault anywhere. And then I think this quest that we've just gotten, it's not this quest, okay. And yeah, there's still a lot there. We haven't made any progress as far as rare monsters. So this might be the way to go. Even though it does seem like it is completely and totally out of the way. This just might be how it breaks down and works. They're going more vertical here than, but this is rather vertical and horizontal as far as the level design. They're doing a little bit of everything. See, I'm kind of wondering if that section where Roland got kidnapped and then there was a Deceptor at the end and then it just kind of ended and it was this long section right after we broke him out of prison. This was early in the game. Like, if that section ended somewhere like there, then this could be what they intended for that area to connect to pretty easily. I'm just running around looking for Cult of the Vault stuff. I think, man, it felt like I'm floating on rocks. Look at that, yeah. Our feet are touching this, and then we don't really go any lower. It just kind of feels like we're floating on the air there. It feels like I should be getting experience just for walking around, particularly when you're in scenarios like this where it's barely anything to even shoot. Seems like everything you hit on this is a critical. Okay, these are slag spores, so it wants me to kill them all. I don't know if I need to shoot explosive spores or not, but we'll try them. I wish my little repeater was faster, but honestly I think the only way I'd get a faster repeater is by using... There is a Cult of the Vault. Right. Could have easily missed that. Yeah, the only way I think I'm going to get a better repeater is by using this repeater and telling the game that I'm into playing with repeaters for a while. Which kind of means if you never play with a certain gun...
Genesis of life, the beginning of creation itself, and yet so nummy, so very, very nummy.
Yeah, it definitely feels like in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1, you very much were... They designed the game in a way to discourage you from trying something new, which is insane when this is a gun loot game that is designed to, like, the main draw is the many different kinds of guns there are. So we've got a new enemy creature type called Borax. You could definitely feel that a game like this with all these new enemy creature types, like, if there was one team in charge of developing enemy AI and enemy animation, and that team or some part of that team just dropped the ball terribly, or if Borderlands 2, man, I am just floating on air. I really need to exit, but I think it might be funnier just to see how far this goes. Yeah, if some team dropped the ball on creating new enemies, that would certainly explain a lot of the main story and why you are just constantly fighting Hyperion robots over and over again. I kind of wish that this theory is true, because it would make me feel more happy about the main game. If somebody told me no, it's 2K's fault, and they rushed the release of Borderlands 2, or if somebody told me no, it's Gearbox's fault and they couldn't program anything worth a flip, which, I mean, that is a theory certainly that could be considered, because yeah, we haven't really seen Borderlands 3 come from Gearbox, and Battleborn, and Duke Nukem Forever, which they finished, and then Aliens Colonial Marines. I mean, there's more bad games that have been developed by Gearbox in the last couple decade and a half time than there have been good games. I don't know if Battleborn is a fair argument to say that actually was a bad game. It was just a game that wasn't very well received or played because of terrible release timing, which is kind of not their fault. So elemental effect chance is at 2.3. So I think that's the lowest one. I want to get everything up to 6 if we can before I start thinking about doing anything else. We're making decent amounts of experience, so maybe you summon Veridicious the Invincible with that 21 Iridium. I need to kill fan boats, kill drifters, kill savages. Like, we're already at level 3 with killing savages, and kill Cylons, or Scalions. Scalions? I want to call them Cylons, but that's not what that really says. We've got a couple of things that can be sold again. Where are we on our gold amount? 43,000. We need to get up to at least 500,000. 45 iridium. We've got quite a few challenges. Interesting. Well, seems like it's a challenge to find and destroy the animal traps too. Well, this has been a pretty good intro to this DLC. It's way better that it's much more balanced. Sure, I'm at level 35, and these are probably just level 30 enemies I'm fighting, but it definitely feels like I'm taking damage and I'm involved in the experience, whereas fighting people that are level 21, somehow I was also taking damage, but it wasn't enough to make me feel like there was an actual challenge there, and I definitely wasn't getting experience, and that's always a bummer. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.